helped to unite the people of Kenya. May you continue remember him with kindness and fondness, because indeed he was a great statesman. And we drew a lot of lessons for the way in which he led the people of Kenya, and we will forever remember how great he was. May his soul forever rest in peace, and we thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And I would now like to invite Her Excellency President Saleh of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia to also pass her tribute and message of condolence. Welcome, my sister.
Yeah. Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, Excellency First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, Excellencies, Heads of States present here, Your Excellency Deputy President William Ruto, the family of former President Mwai Kibaki, our Kenyan brothers and sisters. I'm here today to share the deep grief of our brothers and sisters in Kenya following the passing of former President Mwai Kibaki, and convey the heartfelt condolences of the people and government of Ethiopia and of my own to President Uhuru Kenyatta, his government, the bereaved family of late Mwai Kibaki, and to the people of Kenya. President Mwai Kibaki was a true friend of Ethiopia before and after assumption to the presidency, his assumption to the presidency. During his tenure, Ethiopia and Kenya made tremendous strides in elevating our long-standing relations. This was seen through the achievement that you have jointly registered, both at the national and regional levels. During his tenure, our two countries signed the Special Status Agreement, laying the foundation for the Lamu Port, South Sudan-Ethiopia Corridor project, known as LAPSET, as well as the Moyale One-Stop Border Post. At the regional level, Kenya, with our regional organization, IGAD, has been very active and host of a series of Somali peace processes held here in Kenya in an effort to find a lasting peace in this sisterly country, and also in the Sudan peace talks seeking to end 2 decades of bloody warfare. I would also like to recognize former President Kibaki and his government's commitment to multilateralism that I have been able to witness firsthand. His support to one of the United Nations offices away from headquarters based in Nairobi, and its first dedicated Director General that I was, played a big role in elevating this duty station. Following in his footsteps, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta took this commitment to a higher level. In the spirit of the remarkable ties that our two countries have built over the years, we will continue to sustain and strengthen the excellent relations that has lived to this day in order to fulfill the aspirations of our respective populations. As we gather here to pay our last respect to the third president of Kenya, it should not be to mourn, but to celebrate a life dedicated to serving his nation. And it has been so eloquently expressed by previous speakers. May his soul stay in eternal peace. I thank you.
As many of you know, the Sudan Peace Accord was negotiated and signed here in Nairobi, was done and concluded during the tenure of the late President Mwai Kibaki, a peace accord that saw the birth of Africa's youngest nation, that of South Sudan. We have with us today His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, but because he has a problem with his vocal cords, we will have his Minister of State in the presidency read. We will have his Minister of State in the presidency read his tribute on his behalf. Welcome.
Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, on behalf of my President, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, allow me to recognize with respect Presidents present today and Vice Presidents and delegates from various countries. Mr. President, the people of Kenya, when the sad news of the death of our beloved leader, Mwai Kibaki, came, my President was on a foreign trip. He decided to cut short his trip and return back in honor of President Mwai Kibaki. And as we speak of South Sudan is bereaved, and the flag of the Republic of South Sudan is running at half-mast. Mr. President, the people of Kenya, when President Mwai Kibaki took over from Daniel Arap Moi, he ensured that the peace process that led to the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement in 2005 secured the right of self-determination for the people of South Sudan. It is through the right of self-determination that today you see our first president of the independent, free Republic of South Sudan. We can say with confidence that we owe President Mwai Kibaki special gratitude for giving us the freedom and the independence we enjoy today. Mr. President, we are aware also that President Mwai Kibaki ensured that our cadres were trained here in Kenya, in the Kenyan School of Government, and took some of us to Mombasa for training. And so he's a dear man to our heart. And we know that all the leaders of Kenya have always been supportive of us as the people of Kenya from one generation to another. We owe this to you, the people of Kenya, for electing capable leaders of the region. My president appreciates the relationship between us and Kenya, and it is through this relationship that we are here today to share with the people of Kenya the gravity of the shock that has come as the result of the passing on of President Mwai Kibaki. With this few remarks on behalf of my president, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity, and may God bless you and raise the soul of Mwai Kibaki in eternal peace. I thank you.
Asante sana. Kwa niaba ya Wakenya wote, chukua fursa hii kuwarudishia hawa wageni wetu ambao wametoka mbali. Asante kwa kuja kuomboleza pamoja nasi, pamoja na wenzetu kutoka Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi na nchi zingine jirani, kwa kuja kuwa pamoja nasi. Tuwapigie makofi ya kuwashukuru. Asanteni sana. Fellow Kenyans, we congregate here today to honor one of the founding fathers of our beloved nation. We are here not only to mourn an incalculable loss, but also to celebrate a magnificent life. We celebrate a man of faith, a man of family, a man of honor, and a man who always put Kenya and Kenyans first. So my fellow citizens, whereas President Kibaki has rested and a remarkable life ended, his service to our country will not rest until the last mile of his bold vision for our country, Kenya, is complete. We honor and salute him today for his toil in the run-up to our nation's independence, and most notably, as amongst the leading architect of the modern Kenyan state. As one of the last standing heroes of our independence struggle, he had a special calling to execute the last chapters of the vision of our founding fathers, and he did this with surgical precision and a total disregard for what the naysayers thought of him. He finished the last mile of our founding vision as a nation, but he did not stop there. He helped us lay the foundation upon which future generations shall also build. But to this, I must add one more thing. President Kibaki was by all means a modest man and did not believe in loud shouting. When the limelight was on him, he tended to coy and hide. And this is because he found virtue and joy by doing the ordinary things that fulfilled his promise and purpose. He knew that he could not fulfill his purpose in the presence of cheering crowds, and he had to do this in the privacy of his space. And his desire to contribute to transform our country, Kenya, in his quiet and secluded space with no one watching is what makes him a legend and a man of purpose. Fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to celebrate the man lying before us using three frames: Kibaki the man, Kibaki the leader, and Kibaki the visionary. I begin with Kibaki the man, and in celebrating his humanity, I want to pose an age-old question about our existence, and that is, what is the true measure of a man? How do you judge a man after he has served God, his generation, and country? Do you measure a man by his financial exploits or by how many lives he touched? Do you measure a man by the victories he gained or how he dealt with those he vanquished? Do you measure a man vanquished? Do you measure a man by how he handles losses, failings, and tragedies, or how magnanimous he is when he bags a win? Do you measure a man by how he treats his peers and equals, or how he treats his subordinates? Do you measure a man by what he started or by what he finished? Do you measure a man by what he started or by what he finished? Do you measure a man by how he handled his finest moments or by how he handled his lowest moments? If you want to know the true measure of a man, watch what he does with power, how he handles his opponents, how he treats his wife and family, and what he does with his influence. But fundamentally, as Martin Luther King Jr. taught us, and I quote, "The true measure of a man is not where he stands in comfort, but where he stands in times of challenge and difficulties." End of quote. In other words, the true measure of a man is how he behaves when misfortune hits. And the question before us today, who was Kibaki the man? How do you measure a man who was sworn in as president in a wheelchair? How do you measure a man suffered ill health during his first year of his presidency, and in his lowest moments, he did not give up. But he soldiered on. How do you measure a man under whose watch Kenya experienced our darkest moment in 2007, yet in this moment, President Kibaki shook the hand of his opponent and invited him to form government with him on a 50-50 basis, despite opposition from some of his own supporters. Kibaki the man had an incredible gift of tolerance. He had the ability to take in pressure and pain without showing distress. And this is why he was known as a man of few words. From his 50 or so years of active politics, he learned not to rush into judgment and decisions. He learned to lay in wait until the swollen river had found its course. When moments were dark, he chose to be the light. When reason was scarce, he became the voice of reason. And when hope was down, he encouraged us all to exercise the gift of long-suffering. And if a man is not measured by what he started, but by what he finished, then the record must reflect that the Honorable Mwai Kibaki finished very strong. The end of Kibaki the man can only be summarized by the words of Apostle Paul when he said this of his own life, and I quote, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith." This I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. This too must be recorded in our books of history as the finishing line of the Honorable Mwai Kibaki. He fought the good fight, finished the race, and he without doubt kept the faith. So, Your Excellencies, fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, turning to Kibaki the leader, as we have heard from the story of his life and times, as far back as July of 1974, the Honorable Mwai Kibaki was named by Time magazine as one of the 150 men and women who would become new world leaders. 6 years later, in 1997, and 9 years later, in 1981, the same magazine named him as one amongst 100 people with remarkable leadership qualities. So the world remarkable leadership qualities. So the world